We're going to talk about the respiratory system because it is a system that seems to bother us during allergy season, during winter season because of the flu, just anytime. If we're in an environment where people smoke, that's a system that gets affected. If we are working in a type of business where we are constantly inhaling smells, I'm in a cleaning business and I'm constantly working with detergents and alcohol-based things and Clorox, and well, all that is going to be a detriment to my lungs. And if I am a beautician or a hairstylist and I'm constantly working with all these products that have these chemicals that I'm breathing in, if I work sanding things because I'm a carpenter, or painting, so many things in our environment and in the line of work that we choose can affect our lungs. So we want to be careful to give attention to this system, not just when we develop a cold or the flu or pneumonia or bronchitis, but just in general. We want to protect our lungs because our respiratory system, its main job is to bring oxygen into our body. So when you breathe in, you bring out you bring into your body oxygen, and that is so important to feed all of our cells, and as a result, all of our organs. And when we don't get this oxygen coming in, we die. Our organs die, we die. That's why we can't hold our breath forever. Our brain kind of kicks in and says, yeah, you're not going to do this forever. And even if you voluntarily want to hold on to your breath, your brain just doesn't allow you. So very important system. What can we do to take care of it? First of all, don't get so caught up in the name of the illness. Again, in this country and maybe in many other ones, well, not in China and not where they practice Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine, but in many countries such as the United States, we get very caught up on, I need to know the name of the illness so that then I can take the appropriate medicine for it. And we can't wait to get diagnosed exactly with what's going on at a respiratory level so that then I know what medicine to take. Sadly, as nutritionists and herbalists, we develop the same issue, the same problem, or the same way of looking at things. We want to know exactly what you have so that then I can associate which herb in particular do you need. Do you need something to activate your lungs, or do you need something to bring them down? Do you need something, we kind of always get caught up in the names of the illnesses for our respiratory system, for everything in general. Don't. Just realize that when you have issues with your lungs, you are not balanced. That's all it is. You are out of balance. Actually, you go to China, you ask a doctor, what's wrong with me when you have an issue with your lungs? And he'll just say, you're out of balance. So let's get you back into balance. That's what I love about the way these products work in Solle Naturals, because what they do, or their main purpose, is to help you regain balance. When you're off, when something's too hyperactive or something's too underactive, how do I gain the balance? Because then health will be returned. So when it comes to respiratory issues, keep that in mind. I don't need the name of the illness. I just need to bring into the body nutrients, and I need to help the body bring down inflammation, because usually what gets us sick, respiratory-wise speaking, and in a lot of other body systems as well, is an inflammation that has happened in the body. For example, when we're talking about pneumonia, we're actually talking about the alveoli getting, the inside the lungs, the air sacs, the alveoli, getting full of pus or getting full of fluid, and then there's inflammation. And because of that inflammation, now we have pneumonia. And there could be a virus involved or a bacteria. And so yes, so pneumonia can be, in those cases, when it's a bacteria or a virus, it can be very contagious. But again, what is it? It's inflammation. When we talk about bronchitis, it's the bronchial tubes inside your lungs getting inflamed. So again, it's inflammation. So no matter how you look at it, what we're realizing is there's some type of inflammation going in the body. when my respiratory system is out of balance. And so what can I do to address this? Well, one of the things we want to do is bring into the body things that will actually balance it. And that's what Solle Vital will do. Solle Vital is from our balance category in Solle Naturals. And so basically what it does is, whether you're coughing too much, whether your cough is very phlegm related, like it's very productive because you're taking phlegm out, this is a great product. Whether it's a dry cough and it seems like nothing is coming out, this is a great product anyway. So hyperactive, underactive, working too much, not doing what it's supposed to, Solle Vital is going to be one of those drinks that's going to come into the body and help bring down inflammation. Thanks to the chlorophylls that are in there, thanks to the adaptogens that will adapt to the needs of your body. So it's a very important product to consider when you're dealing with any respiratory issue. Because we're in the balance category, let's talk about other things in the balance category that would help you when it's lung related. And that's what you'll find with the essential oils. You can use a carrier with them. Here's another one from the balance category. And you can mix them and actually put them on the lung area, front and back of your body. So I remember when I was a kid, my mother would bathe us in Vicks Vaporub, and then she would put like sheets of napkins or paper towels on top of us, and then she would make us go to sleep with that. Well, that was very toxic. We didn't know any better probably back then, but it was very toxic. Here's a neat way to do the same thing. So you mix some of your Solflix AC cream, which is anti-inflammatory, with a drop of balance. Depending on how much cream you use, you'll less. You don't need a lot with essential oils. And then once you mix it, you can rub it in the back. It'll go into the body immediately, and it'll work at a cellular level that way. And then as you drink this during the day, it'll help to bring down inflammation. So you have two ways that you're addressing it. Oils, the neat thing is, they actually cross any barrier of inflammation that the body establishes, or that the cells place around themselves to protect themselves. So it's really neat because it'll go in and benefit you through the skin and then through the digestive system as you take this. If your cough is a very phlegmy cough and it's trying to come out, that's a good thing. So one of the things you might want to consider is helping it do that. And you can do it two different ways. You can either do it with another drink, such as XL, or you can do it with Solle Clear SI. So now you've got something like this that you can take, or you can take these products along with your essential oils. The essential oils can be placed in a humidifier in a diffuser, as well, so that you can breathe them in at night, and then it'll help you. If along with in the diffuser you put some drops of balance and calm, maybe 3 and 4, 4 and 3, you'll now have the benefits of something that'll calm whatever cough you're having. Which brings me to the idea or the thought that you can also mix calm into your cream when we're talking about coughs that just simply won't stop. They're not phlegm related, they just are due to some virus usually, because coughs that are dry are usually the result of an infection or because of a cold or a flu virus. So calm and your calm essential oil and Solflex are going to help with that regard. So you get a lot of nice things that you get in that way. I know you've heard me say this a lot. I recommend these two products together a lot. And I'm going to mention it here too because this is very virus related. It's got so many things to help protect you and eliminate viruses from your body. It's an immune booster. It just has a lot of plants that are going to come in and give your body what it needs at an immune level as well. So consider these two drinks as you deal with any respiratory issues. You could also, if I had to talk about 4 things that are important in a respiratory issue, I would add the omegas. The omegas are so anti-inflammatory. I know we associate omegas a lot with the circulatory system, but don't think of omegas only as that. You really rob them from a lot of the benefits that they offer. Omega 3, 6, 9, and we even get omega 7 here thanks to the sea buckthorn. So it's very anti-inflammatory. And remember, that's what's going on when we have pneumonia, when we have bronchitis. We have just a lot of inflammation that needs to be addressed, and we need to help bring it down. by the time our lungs are involved and we're having issues with them, remember, your lungs are one of your elimination organs in the body. So your first one, and the way your body wants to eliminate, is through your colon. When it does not work as it should, the liver takes up an added burden to try to cleanse. And then when it's overburdened because, okay, the colon isn't working as it should, the liver isn't getting out what it's supposed to, now your lungs come into play. Then your kidneys, then your skin. So by the time you have issues with your lungs, you already have 2 elimination organs that aren't working as they should. So one of the things I always recommend when you have lung issues is, especially if you just can't get through these chronic illnesses, you know, they're just very chronic, I've had them for a long time, or I keep getting them, think of a detox. I talk a lot about this in other videos. Fast tracked and good vibrations is a very good way to bring fiber into your body and bring other things, other plants that will actually move all this out. So that's a good way to take a look and address your respiratory system. Remember that the emotion that is linked to the lungs is grief, loss, some type of loss. You lost your pet, you lost a family member, a loved one, you lost a home, you lost a job, you lost something, a friend, some betrayal. You lost something that was so huge for you that it struck you. It's grief, and you didn't get to grieve correctly. And maybe you didn't get to grieve correctly because you were a caretaker at that time and you had to take care of everybody else, and so your time for grieving never happened. And so this now begins to affect your lungs. People who have a lot of respiratory issues have a hard time. If you look at them like emotionally to try to identify them, what kind of person they are, they're people that have a hard time letting go of others. They're very attached. Their attachment to others is huge. They're attached to experiences, sometimes in the past, like I can't let go of that moment when, or I always remember that time when, or gosh, how wonderful it was when, you know, and it's always like I'm living in the past. I can't let go of that moment, of that experience, of that object, of that person. So people like that, they are going to have issues with their lungs as well. So think of that, because as you begin to help someone in such a program, these issues are going to come up, you know, and they'll have to work through them as well. Massages are very good when you have a lot of respiratory issues, because it kind of moves everything around. And in fact, when people have a lot of emotions linked to their lungs, and they start getting massages and they start getting the appropriate drinks that they need into their system, even through massages, they may start crying all of a sudden, you know, because they're processing emotions that they never processed. So with people with respiratory issues, try to also talk to them. You know, what have you lost in the past? Do you feel you haven't grieved about it enough? Practice deep breathing exercises if you have gone through something like this and never took care of those emotions of processing them. Or if you are someone who's helping someone else, remember that you're going to probably at some point have to help them grieve and process that. So deep breathing is very important as I'm working on my lungs. And we don't do a lot of that breathing. We don't deep breathe, you know, do these deep breathing things off and exercise, and we really should. We need to take time each day. We go outside, maybe not during pollen season. In fact, which brings me to the idea that the Chinese, in Chinese medicine, they teach that the best time to address your lung issues is in autumn. Just the body is better prepared for it. And I guess it's also right before winter, so now you're better prepared to face immune issues that you might have. So work on strengthening your immune system, and you can definitely do it with drinks and with the products that we mentioned. Another way to address your respiratory system is to just have the 4 drinks. You know, take them during the day. The person who gives you this video can teach you how to do the 3 drinks, and it'll bring in a lot of anti-inflammatory things and help you just move everything out. So don't address the respiratory system by illnesses. Just realize that it's nutrients you need some detoxing, and you're gonna get it with Solle Naturals.